Hello. I hope this is started live. Here I am. I just have it on the cover right now. Just trying to, I have a cold, so bear with me today. I haven't had a cold like this in 10 years. Welcome to this webinar with me, Diana Marchand. I'll let you see me in a moment. Hmm. I'm just trying to ease my throat here. Wasn't sure how I was going to do this today, but we're going to move through it the best that I can without coughing too much. Okay, so here I am. I'm not sure if anybody's on yet, but if you are, welcome. If there's anybody who's on this webinar live, put your name in the chat box or put a little comment that you can hear me and see me, and that would be great. I would love to have just notification that everything's going good. Otherwise, I'm going to continue because I know there's some people that wanted to watch this as a recording and couldn't make it live. So, hello, my name is Diana Marchand. My site is Raw Foods Made Simple. It's soon going to be changed to dianamarchand.com. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about myself today. I know many of you know me. Some of you may not know too much about me, so that's where I'm going to start. Let's see. Health and wellness has really been my passion since I was in my probably 20s. I'm now 51, so I turned 51 this year. And it's been something, oh, I see people are saying hello. Let me put on my glasses. I literally cannot see without glasses. Yeah, great. Okay, good. I'm glad everybody can see me and hear me. Thank you for saying that. There's a little bit of a delay too, and once I receive your message. So I've been interested in health and wellness for over 20 years, and I was actually worked at one of the very first fitness centers when I was 16 years old. I mean, the very first, before there was only racket courts that men went to, so pretty funny. And fast forward quite a few years, I started working out when I was in my 20s. I did so mainly to gain shape. To gain shape, I was really like a board. I had no shape, so I started working out to gain shape. And then it became my passion. And years later, I became a personal trainer. And I worked at a one-on-one personal training studio here in Nanaimo with somebody who's fantastic, David Jilks. And he taught me so much, huge amounts, learned a lot. And I also became a yoga instructor, which I loved doing yoga. And then that led me to, of course, clean up my diet, clean up what I was eating. And really, I wanted to help women. So at that time, I was getting, most of my clients were in their 40s and 50s. Of course, the midlife weight gain, started to gain weight. Well, as I was working at Core Essentials, I was entered in my early 40s, actually, mid to early 40s. And I had been working out really good, eating really clean, what I thought was clean. And I began to gain weight in my midsection. And this was not normal for me. So I thought, oh my God, what's going on? I began to gain weight there. And then I checked, I kind of kept thinking, okay, what's going on? I didn't know anything really about perimenopause. Way too young for menopause. To me, that was someone in their 50s. So I didn't even think about that. And it was that I was in perimenopause already at a young age. So I was having all these hormonal changes in my body. Now, I was already eating clean because I had had many health problems when I was young, starting out with cancer at 21. But I also had problems with digestive issues, headaches, really severe headaches, a lot of severe things, food sensitivities. I found out that that was related to the foods, the toxins in the food, so preservatives, food dyes, anything like that was not real in our packaged food, junk food, even foods in restaurants would set me off on a reaction and I would get severely sick. So I had already cleaned up my diet quite a lot by the time I was in my 40s. So that's why I was shocked. Why was I gaining the weight? What was happening? Well, yes, it was perimenopause. My hormones were changing. I needed to once again look at what I need to do to change what I eat. That was a huge one. It's like something's not right within me. I need to make a change. It's got to be what I'm eating. So that led me to discover raw food because it led me to discover what foods were really clean, gluten-free, dairy-free. So I found raw foods. And then I loved it so much, I became a raw food chef. And I worked, helped to open up a restaurant in Nanaimo that franchised into 2 locations. And with another girl, I did the menu and the recipes and all that. And then I worked there as their head chef for 2 years. I was still doing my classes, my programs, all my coaching with women on the side. And then I didn't want to work in the restaurant anymore. So that led me to do all this full time. My passion for helping women in their 40s or 50s to really feel great, get their energy back, get on track with their diet, what they're eating. And so that led me to what I do today. Now, this leads me to my webinar, which is where to start, what to focus on, and what to do. And I was doing the work for the webinar today. Yes, I'm very last minute. And I really kind of took a different direction. Now, most people are used to me talking about just the food, but you see, that is the problem. I have talked about just the food for so many years, and I've worked with a lot of women regarding the food, and still I see people struggle, not stay on track, go off guard. And of course, we all know that when it comes to eating or making some healthy lifestyle changes, what gets in our way? It's our mind, our mindset, our head. So even when I was working with women as a personal trainer, I knew that it was mindset. I knew that, yes, some people, it's not the amount of hours you have in the day. It's not your weight. It's not this. It's not that. It's mindset. Everybody struggles with something in life. For me, I do love eating healthy. I love exercising. That's not my thing. But believe me, I struggle with mindset in other areas of life. It's just everybody has something. Doesn't mean you're a failure. Doesn't mean you can't do this. It just means you need to understand kind of what's going on behind that keeps stopping you, that keeps tripping you up. So that is what this webinar is about today. I hope I didn't disappoint too many people, but I tell you, stay with the webinar, listen to it, because what I'm going to cover today is stuff that I probably haven't really covered before. It's really good. It's how I'm going to work with clients now and in the future, because mindset is everything. Of course, I still work with the food. I'm still going to work with the food, what to eat, when to, all of that. But in this webinar today, we are covering kind of more about the mindset. So I do have some slides just to keep us all on focus. And we are going to start. So the things I said I would cover are where to start, what to focus on, and what to do. And I know that could have been with food too, but it's funny, I was able to kind of swish it into this whole mindset, and you'll see exactly what I mean when we go through the information, how it relates to everything. Okay, so this is where we're going to start with the some of the slides that I'm going to share with you. It's not going to be all the time, but it's just visuals. Visuals are good, right? So there it is. It's where to start. So what we're going to talk about in where to start is the realization that where are you now? So you need the awareness of where you are now to know where you are, so that you know where you want to go and what changes you need to start making. Because everybody's at a different level, everybody's at a different stage. You also need to become aware of what excuses you're using. What are you really doing, thinking, being right now that is stopping you from leading the healthier lifestyle, or that keeps tripping you up over and over and over again? So you have to keep restarting, right? So now these are some things that we hear people say. Our lives now are not like they used to be. Even 50 years ago, even 100 years from now ago. They are so different, and things got a little warped. I think our lives are not what they even should be. We've gotten so far away from what is really important in life that these are some things that we say to ourselves now all the time. I'm too busy. I'm too stressed. I'm too tired and exhausted. I'm overweight. I feel sick. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm working 60 to 80 hours a week. Let's say this is just, I just took an overview. So these are some of the things that our society is kind of plagued with now. It's kind of like our new normal. We don't want this to be our new normal, because that is not real. That shouldn't be our reality, but yet it's what people say over and over again. It's the way people are leading their lives. What we think is normal is not normal. Being too tired, being too busy, all these really obese people, it's not normal. It should not be considered our normal, yet it is. I have notes, that's what I'm looking at. Um, Women too, right? Women work full time now, yet they still do the housework. They still are responsible for all the meals. I know because I work with a lot of women for a lot of years now. I still hear them saying they have to come home after work. They have to do all the meals. Their husband doesn't know how or doesn't want to, or the kids are too tired or they're too busy. So women are doing everything. This is why so many women are being so completely burned out also. And so we say all these things, but we say we want health, happiness. We say we want to feel better, but yet we're caught up in this cycle of doing so much all the time. We burn ourselves out, and then we just feel helpless, hopeless, too tired, and exhausted to do anything about it, right? So that is not really how we should be. That's not how our reality should look. Feeling helpless and hopeless. And there's so much information out there, and it can be really confusing, and it can be so conflicting. What to believe, all these fad diets, all these ways of eating, all these people are telling you, eat this, don't eat that, do this, don't do that. And that's why I'm getting away from my Raw Foods Made Simple title, because not one way of eating works for everyone. I know that for a fact. You know that for a fact. It's more about finding what works for you. What feels right for you as a person. You need to find that. That's what's so important, right? But eating real whole foods, of course. Okay, so that is what you need to start, is this awareness. How are you living your life now? How do you feel? How do you feel physically? How do you feel emotionally? What is your time like? All of that. Or are you walking around like a zombie? Are you don't even realize you just graze through the day and then go to bed at night and wake up and do the same thing, walk around in a fog, saying you want to change things, but never having time or never trying to change anything because you just don't have the energy to change anything. Is that the way you're living your life? So we're going to share those slides again. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Getting used to this thing. Okay, there we go. And of course, we are going to talk a little bit about the food. But this is our new normal now too, right? Food is full of toxins. Food is not even food. It is filler. We talk about filling ourselves up. I need to eat something because I'm hungry. My stomach's empty, whatever. So it's really based on get me something. We demand fast, easy, cheap food because we're so busy. We're running around doing this. We don't have time to cook. We don't have time. We want things that are prepared. So of course, prepared food is packaged and it's going to have preservatives in it. So in a way, we are the causers of all this junk that's out there now. We've really lost the knowledge and the know-how on what food should be. What is food? What is food for? What should it consist of? To us, if it looks like food, people eat it. You know what? It may look like food, but inside it is not food at all. People stop reading labels. We need to start reading labels. There's so much junk in our food nowadays that really is causing a lot of the epidemics of obesity, sickness, diabetes, everything, cancer, Alzheimer's, right? So it really is. This is really a wake-up call here for everybody. We say we have no time to cook, prep, or shop. We need to start eating things. Here we go. This is it. You eat things that you crave instead of food that feeds or fuels your body. So this is really what's happening. People are going for food they want to eat that tastes good. The food networks, the commercials, the TVs and everything just stress this so much. But yet what's in that food is nothing but crap. Even if it's, let's say, white flour, so it's not preservative, whatever, it's just food that does not feed us and does not fuel us. Our body needs the vitamins, the minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, amino acids. That's what our body needs. It does not need sugar, a pound of flour, just because that can make pasta, right? Something like that. Is not at all. We've got to change the way we think about our food. And another thing I really want to talk about is our thoughts. So where are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on right now? This is really important. Here I put, when you think about eating clean and exercising, what do you think? And how do you feel when you think about it? Are you happy, great, positive, energetic, excited about it? Or do you feel deprived? Does it feel like it's hard, complicating, and there's going to be a lot of sacrifice? See, that is a huge difference. If you feel happy, excited, energetic, great, positive, excited, all of that, when you think about eating healthy, then of course you're going to be consistently eating healthy. You're not going to have a lot of problem with falling off, going on again, off again. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but for me, I absolutely love healthy foods. I love the way they taste. I love what I can do with them. I love being creative with them. It doesn't mean I don't like French fries. It doesn't mean I don't like something that is fatty and not good for me. It doesn't mean that at all. But it really means that I actually am happy and excited to eat really healthy, good food. But I realize not everybody's like that. But if you have the attitude of being deprived, of like, why me? Why do I have to eat this crappy, horrible, dull food when everybody else can eat junk? If you have any, I just want to bring the awareness, if you have any of those feelings of restriction or sacrifice or deprivation, then that is getting in your way of staying on track, continually eating healthy, and making good choices. If you feel restricted, if you feel like when someone brings it up, like, oh, like, why don't we start eating healthy next week? Or why don't we get rid of all the sugar next week? Or why don't we give up all the fatty fried foods next week? And let's just eat all really clean food. How do you feel when someone says something to you? Do you feel like, no, I don't want to do that, or get lost? That makes me feel terrible. So notice how you feel, because that is how you're reacting. That's inside. It's like a trigger. It's something that your body's automatically doing. So how do you think you're going to be when you start to go on a clean eating diet without working on the mindset and getting rid of that resistance first? You see, if you just start with the food first, but you haven't dealt with all this background stuff, then you're probably not going to have a lot of success. This is the problem when people start on the diets, go to Weight Watchers, go to whatever, and they're just kind of shown what to eat. Follow this, do this. And then they may have results because they're able to maybe stick with that. But in the back of their head, they go, it's only going to be for this time, because I'm going to go right back, because I could never handle this forever. And I know that once this is over, that I can go back to eating. But then when they go back, they don't know, they haven't learned any tools, they haven't dealt with their mindset and the resistance that they haven't dealt with any of those gremlins that are there. So they're going to go right back to their old habits. See, when we're asked to do something that makes us feel uncomfortable, like changing something, giving up something you're not ready for, doing too much at once, so adding too much to your life, like trying to change your diet and your menu too fast, and it becomes overwhelming. So what happens is it's too much for you. It causes a lot of discomfort and dis-ease within you. So of course, you're going to avoid it. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to make excuses because you really don't like to feel uncomfortable. You don't like to feel restricted. You know inside that it's feeling uncomfortable. You've been triggered. Just like when your boyfriend, husband, whatever says something that just irritates you, it's that trigger. That's what happens with this too. When you try to make a change that you're really not ready for, or that you haven't worked through the emotional attachment stuff yet, it brings that trigger, and you just want to do anything to get away from feeling that way. So that is what happens. That's why this mindset stuff is so important. So if you really have feelings of this is deprivation, this is hard, we hear people say, It takes too much time to prepare healthy food. It's shopping. There's a whole bunch of ingredients. They're way too expensive. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll never have enough time. Yeah, things like that. They're all excuses. They're all avoidance. And they're because the way you think about eating healthy and making healthy food is just a little warped, I want to say. It's not real. It's just all this fear, all this resistance, all these triggers that you have within you that are there, who knows, maybe from childhood, or you've developed over the years that are there, maybe even without you realizing them. But they keep coming up to the surface as soon as you try to do something, right? That triggers it, like try to clean up your diet all of a sudden or eat healthier, or totally change things. Now, be aware that this can also happen with your family, friends, and spouse, right? So when you try to make healthy changes in your life, the best thing to do is not force them because they're not ready for it. They didn't ask for it. So right away, they're gonna put up resistance. For one, they may see you making changes, but they're gonna say, I'm not ready for it. Ho, 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 their stuff's all gonna come up. All their shit's gonna come up, and they're gonna back away and say, hey, I don't wanna do this. What you're doing is wrong. You can go ahead and eat that bird seed crap. I'm not going to eat any of it. I'm going to eat real food, right? So some of that stuff. So that's why you really got to keep it to yourself. Work on yourself, work on your issues that start to rise to the surface before you ever try to help anybody else or change anybody else the way they're eating. Don't say you're going to change your whole family at the same time you're going to change you. That's just setting up for failure and sabotage. So really be aware of that also. So yeah, what I said about the way you think about this, the way you really think about changing your eating, going into healthier eating, eating healthier food, even changing, of course, to a healthier lifestyle, the way you think about it deep down, really what you believe determines how successful you are going to be with it, okay? Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about was when you are eating, so thoughts are really, of course, they're energy. They're really important. So when you're also eating food, what thoughts are you thinking about the food you're eating? And I know many women start to think about, oh, I'm eating this. This is going right to my thighs. This is going right to my hips. This is going right to my gut. This makes me fat. I shouldn't eat this. This makes me fat. Well, if that's such negative thoughts towards food, so anything negative, restrictive, self-defeating, any of those thoughts are going to have a negative effect on every cell in your body. They affect your nervous system, your digestive system, everything. What you think and focus on actually becomes your reality. So please don't say those things or think those thoughts when you're eating, even if it's food you're not supposed to eat. Don't say those things because that will be negative for you. The more happier and joyous you are around food, that's the more positive it will have, positive an effect it's going to have on you. Okay, and also, I think we kind of covered it, but what you think about the healthy food? Do you think of it as yuck, boring, bland, or do you think of it as exciting, tasty, really good, right? So take a look at that also. If you do really think that healthy food is really terrible, bland, not good, you're probably not going to stick to a healthy lifestyle, right? To actually make changes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to share this again. Hope I'm not moving too fast for you guys. I don't want to go on and on about one topic. Okay, so here are, that's just kind of what we talked about already. Our next one is going to be about talk and energy. Just kind of what I just touched on a second ago. Self-talk is a huge thing. And we all know that we are our worst enemies. And it's often ourselves that sabotage our efforts when we're trying to have a healthier lifestyle. You may try to set like resolutions or intentions for the new year, but deep down you're saying, I never follow through. I never stick to it. I can say I'm going to do this, but I probably won't. All of those things is going to affect if you're successful or not at this. So you want to really become conscious about what are your thoughts. What do you say to yourself every day, all the time? What do you say? How do you talk to yourself about food? Even about what your body's like. Do you say to yourself, I'm fat, or I need to lose weight, I'll never lose weight? Do you say any of those things to yourself over and over and consistently? Be really aware of that. Do you also say things to yourself? It's too hard. This is going to be too hard. I'm not going to like it. It's going to be a struggle, just like we talked about before. What are those things? Those are your thoughts. What are those things you're saying to yourself? Plus, are you saying those things to others? Often we hang around with friends and people and we talk. That's what a lot of women do, right? We go for walks and we kind of vent. We call it venting, but it is kind of more complaining or making excuses or making ourselves feel better. And it's great if we have somebody who thinks the same way we do, because then we feel validated. Of course I can't lose this. Of course I can't start exercising because of this. And she says I'm right and that this is the way it's going to be. So watch for this. Who are you hanging around with? What are those people saying? What do they talk like? What do they eat like? What do they do? What is their energy like? Positive energy, negative energy. Do they bring you up or do they bring you down? All of that is energy you're surrounding yourself with. Remember what I said, everything is energy. Your body is all energy. The energy you allow in affects you at a cellular level, right? So negative affects you negatively. Positive affects you positively. It can be as simple as that. Look around what are the people you're hanging around with? What are you talking about with them? What are you saying over and over and over again? So if you want to make positive changes, you really need to watch what you say, what you think and what you say, especially around the people you are, because you don't want to start. That's just more and more reinforcement of what you don't want, of what you don't want, what you don't want, what you don't want, okay? Oh, about how, I want to, also what, is that under this one? Funny. Should be under motivation. Anyways, one of the things I had written out here was, this whole thing about time, saying you don't have enough time or you're too tired or this or that. But yeah, we all know that when we really, really want something, we can do it. The only example I could think about for some reason was when you're getting married. So if a girl's getting married, she wants to look her best. So she's going to do everything she can to lose weight before her wedding and to look great. I mean, she will go on this diet. She will exercise 5 days a week. She will not eat sugar. She will do all these things so she has no breakouts. She will do everything to look her best on that one day. So that means that it is possible for her to have done all that stuff all along. So we will always do something we really want, but other times of our life we will just use excuses. So if you are believing that you can't do something towards healthier eating, healthier lifestyle or whatever, it is probably that you just don't want it enough. Now it's also that because the mindset stuff that's behind it. So when you think about wanting it, you think you're going to fail. You think it's just hopeless. There's no way. It's going to be too much hard to struggle. So there's all that behind it too. But it's also, if something comes up in your life and you know, if you want it really bad, let's say you don't have money to join a program or to go to the gym or to start a yoga class or to take one of my programs. Say you don't have money, whatever. But, then you walk into the mall and you see these gorgeous pair of shoes or purse that you just have to have. Well, you spend money on it. That's the way it is. We spend money on silly things. But yeah, women do not tend to spend money on the really, really important things like their health and wellness. Very rare. It's kind of a little warped, but we're used to thinking that. And also we're caught up in doing so much for others and putting ourselves last. It's kind of said that doing for others is more important than doing for ourselves. And we need to switch that around because we need to do things for ourselves. It doesn't mean we neglect everybody else. But doing things for yourself, getting healthier and happier yourself makes you better in your relationships, makes you better with your family, makes you a better spouse, makes you better at work and more productive. It leads to everything becoming better in your life. But if you don't take care of yourself first, if you put yourself last, you're going to be cranky, you're going to be bitchy, you're going to be resentful, you're going to be tired, you're going to be exhausted, and you're just going to give up. So you see that difference, but yet women do it. They do it all the time. So I want you to be really aware. Do you continually put yourself last? Do you think that it's better to serve others first and put yourself last? Because if you put yourself first, that's selfish. That's silly. Anyways, we need to change that. We need to change the way women think about that. And do you have supportive family and friends? Do you have a support group that when you do want to make a better change in your eating, in your lifestyle, do you have someone there who's going to support you? Do you have friends that are going to support you? Or are they just going to bring it down? So think about that too. Now, this part is on the what to focus on. That is my next topic. Yeah. Oops, that's about the do you say again. Oh, shoot. And what to focus on. Sorry, guys. There we go. What to focus on. What is really important to you and what results do you want? Have you thought about this? Have you really sat down and thought about this? What's really important to you? This is kind of what I've been doing with my programs lately with women is I've been getting them to come up with their top 3 core values. So far, not one has ever had done that before, or at least recently. I think we kind of go through our days, just living our lives, doing what we need to do each day to get it done, to get to bed and to start the next day again without really being conscious, without really thinking. The problem with that is that you kind of go nowhere. It's always you put things off until next day, next year, when I have more time, when the time is right. It's not good right now. I know I will. I'll get to it. When it's important, I will get to it. So we just continually put off the important things in life. And then we get caught up in the little trivial things that come to us every day. We just do those things, do those things, do those things. Just get caught down in the trivial little things we feel we need to do every day. So why is core values and desired feelings so important? Well, they're everything. If you want to be happy and healthy, it's everything. So what's really important to you? Excuse me, just a minute. For me, my top values are, I'll go off this. Freedom, health, freedom, and joy. That's my top 3. Now I have many, but health and freedom are kind of tied, as I believe, because if you don't have your health, you don't have freedom. You can't have freedom if you don't have your health, basically. So you really, really need to have good health. Also, I'm 51. I don't know how many of you are who are watching or listening to this, but we are getting older. Everybody is. How do you want to age? How do you want to look? How do you want to be? What do you want to do in the future? I know it's weird because when we get to this age, it's like when we're young, we just avoid thinking about that because it's so far away. You know, when I was young and I used to suntan all the time, lay out in the sun and burn my skin, baby oil and everything, my mom used to say, when you're 40, you're going to regret that suntanning. And I used to say to her, Mom, when I'm 40, I'm going to be so old. I'm going to be married. I won't care what I look like. My husband won't care what I look like. It doesn't matter. That is what I used to say, honest to God. Well, now I know 40 is very young. I was single. I damn well did care what people thought how I looked. And I know how it affected my skin now. So this is where we are now. Wherever you are in life now, realize that your future is where you're going. You can avoid it. You can not think about it. You can say you're going to deal with it later, but it is coming and there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, there is lots you can do about it. You can do something now. You can do something now to make you feel good in the future. Take a look around at many of the seniors now. Yes, there's some that look great, feel great, fit. Be them. Choose to be them. Do not choose or unchoose to be the people that are walking around or are in wheelchairs or on walkers or have cancer or severely sick or on oxygen. You have a choice. You have a choice now. It's time to make that choice. This is huge. This is big. This is why your desired feelings and your core values are so important because they're going to determine how you live your life now and in the future. It makes decisions easier. So my core values being freedom, health, and joy. So then when I make decisions on how I'm going to spend my time, what I'm going to buy, right? What I'm going to eat, if I keep those values, those important things in my head, each time I'm making a decision and I make a decision based on those, then I'm probably more likely than not going to make the better decision. But if I'm not thinking, I'm not conscious, I'm just eating whatever's there, I'm just partying with my friends, I'm just drinking whatever, I'm still smoking cigarettes, yeah, ignoring symptoms, ignoring things, signals my body's giving me about things, then eventually your body's just going to begin to fall apart. Because neglect, just like neglect in a car, eventually it's going to stop running. You're going to have a lot of problems with it. Okay, so this is how important this is. So think about the things that are really important in your life. Why are they so important? Why are they important to you? And how can you begin to make decisions in your life based on those core values and desired feelings? Like desired feelings can be as simple as every day you wake up and say, today I choose to feel love, joy, and hope or something, right? It can be different. Every day can be different for everybody all the time. And that's just focusing on how you want to feel. You want to feel uplifted. You want to feel happy. You want to feel joyful. I mean, don't you meet some people sometimes who walk around and they just seem to have no feeling, no personality? They're blah. It's like they're dead inside already. You don't want to live your life like that. You want to get back your passion, get back your motivation, feel good, start rolling again. So starting to pay attention to these things and designing how you want to live your life, that's what's really important. So that's what you're going to start to do in this new year, right? Right. Okay, what else do we have here? Yeah, so how do you want to live? How do you want to live your life now? Every day, every week, every month, 3 months from now, 4 years from now, whatever. How do you want it to look? Start thinking about that. Even make vision boards about it. That's what I do. It's great. Okay, just reading it again. I don't want to forget anything. Oh yeah, because if you don't, what happens is regret, right? You're gonna look like now, of course, after sun tanning all those brutal. I do have regrets. I mean, this is just a little thing, but I mean, it's still regrets, right? It's like, oh, so many more wrinkles, my skin's, all this. But I mean, just imagine if I wasn't taking care of myself now, and then 10 to 20 years down the road, I get some really bad illness. I have no independence. I have no freedom. What would I think then? What would I'd say? I regret it. I should have done better. I should have. You don't want to be in that space 10, 20 years from now, even a year from now, and saying those things, right? Okay, so here we are talking. Our next topic is about, what's this one say? I know I'm talking a lot, you guys. I hope that doesn't, I hope this doesn't feel like too much. But I'm going to keep going. And yeah, we're going to keep going so we don't have too much time left. So I'll try to cover what I have to cover yet, so we can make this in about an hour time. Okay, so I just put a couple questions here. Have you shut down or shut off? And do you feel resistance? This is kind of what we were talking about earlier, about if you feel resistance or negative about something, you probably will do, you probably procrastinate, avoid it, fail at it, keep having to try at it, never being able to do it. So all of those things that happens, of course, when people are always on again, off again, saying that, it's just too hard for them and there's no way they can lose the weight. There's no way they can do this. So it's because they've also shut down, shut off, and they have a lot of resistance. So I've discovered that this is huge when people go to make changes in their life. When they go to, oh, that's not what we're on yet. Here we go. When they do, let's say, a program or something, you have all these really great intentions, and you say, this is it. This is the one that's going to work for me. It's going to work. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be successful. So you again and again, and once again, the resistance comes up. The thoughts of failure or the feelings of like, oh my God, here it's going again. I know I'm going to give up. I'm going to fail at this. It's not going to work. And then you just shut down and shut off. And then you just don't care anymore. That is what can happen. And that is what another part of this whole mindset thing that comes when people try to lead a more healthier lifestyle. It's shutting off and shutting down. Another way of shutting down or shutting off is shutting off that connection between you and your body. And I notice this a lot when people go are always unsure what to eat or how they feel about different foods, or they still eat wheat and gluten and dairy. They probably are shut off from how their body really feels. If someone is eating a lot of junk food, a lot of junky food, a lot of really heavy fatty foods, they don't realize that those foods are completely taking away their energy. They're actually changing their emotional state. So they're probably feeling depressed. They leave you feeling in a fog and like a brain fog. So they have all these effects on your on you emotionally, because it's chemicals. It's affecting the chemical makeup in your body, which is your hormones. So it completely screws up your hormonal balance, which again, of course, is your moods, right? Your weight too. So all of these things. So if you shut down, if you do not notice how your body feels when you eat specific foods and certain foods, then you, of course, will just completely continue to eat those things, because you, as you see it, that's not what the problem is. The problem's got to be something else. Not that, or it's just definitely something you don't want to do, but you're avoiding it. I don't want to deal with the food thing, so I'm just gonna, I feel great eating those foods. They don't bother me at all. It's just because you really, really don't want to deal with starting to clean up your diet. So that is another way of shutting down. In the programs, when I work with women, I really teach them to get in touch with how food makes you feel inside. And I'm talking about also physically, so you can tell what foods you have sensitivities to, which foods don't work for you, which foods work great for you, which foods give you energy, which foods deplete your energy. Huge. That's going to make you feel so much different, of course, when you eat, right? It's going to change your life. I mean, if you have more energy, how great are you going to feel during the day? How is that going to change your life every single day, right? It's going to make a huge change in your life. So that's how important these things are. So we did already talk about the restriction, the feeling of restriction, and how that can stop you from making changes. And it'll just lead you back to old patterns and behaviors. So it's about removing, and I've worked on a lot of resistant things, believe me. And I've learned things that really, really, really help me to remove the charge out of the resistance and the trigger. And when you do that, that completely changes. It's not even like you have to do any delving into your past, or you don't have to do psychotherapy or any of that stuff. It's about releasing the resistance. You feel the resistance come up, you become aware of the resistance when it comes up, and you find ways, there's ways where you can release the resistance. And this is how I really want to work with women too. I want to show them how to do that. Release the resistance, you release the charge. So that instead of eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle, instead of it causing this, like this, you go, oh yeah, I can do that. I like it. Good. Yeah, I'm for it. It's so much easier to do something you have no resistance to. There's no fight. There's no struggle. None of that. It just comes so much easier when you remove the resistance, when you release and let go of that tension that it causes you. So that's what is really important to work through. Okay, now we're going to talk about the last part, is what to do. Yes, what to do now. So we've talked about where to start, becoming the awareness and all that, where you are, how you're feeling, your thoughts, your words, and all that, what to focus on, really getting your core values, your desired feelings, like how important that is to really know that. And then now we're going to talk about what to do. So this is going to be getting committed, motivated, finding your desire, your passion, and your why. And okay, so let's start with commitment. I know I never liked that C word for the longest time, let me tell you. And it's not what you think in a way. Everybody's committed to something. If you say you're a person who really can't commit, that's absolutely not true, because if you consistently eat bad food, you're committed to consistently eating bad food. If you're committed to watching TV, if you tend to watch 4 hours of TV a day, then you're committed to watching 4 hours of TV a day. So if you say you have no time to make healthy meals or to exercise or something, you're committed to something else instead of doing those other things. So as you can see, you're committed to a lot of things in your life. Now you just need to look at what are those things that you're actually committing to. So if you are the type that just busies yourself, with things that don't really mean anything, but they take up a lot of your time, or maybe you do so much for other people and you leave yourself last because you swear you're going to have time for yourself. So you just keep doing it for others. So you're really, really committed to doing things for others. You're really, really committed to getting all these little tasks done in your day instead of the important stuff. So you see how you already are really committed. Now you just need to look at, what am I spending all my time doing? If I say I have no time to make healthy meals, to do the shopping, to do this, what am I committing to? What am I putting top value on in my life right now then? So if you are not feeling good, if you are feeling tired, if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling no energy, no passion in life, really blah, then it's really time to take stock and go, what are you doing? What are you spending your time doing? Because there's a lot you're not doing then. And there's a lot that you may have to start letting go of. And it's just a switch. It's like, okay, so instead of doing this, I see now that I should be doing something like this. And that can be as easy and simple as taking time in the morning to just sit, be present with yourself, do some breathing, relax, read a good book, a positive one, positive affirmations, take time to be grateful. Those things can uplift you for the whole day. And if you do them consistently every day, they can make a huge impact in your life. But yet we say we have no time to do that. It can really only take 5 to 10 minutes every morning, and then doing the same every night. 5 to 10 minutes totally can be done. When I work with women in my programs now, that's what we do. We focus on these little things that you're going to start to do so that you will build these into your day and start to shift into the healthier habits and healthier eating. It's just about taking these steps, making these shifts little bit by little bit, so it's not overwhelming, so it's not too stressful, and really seeing how, yes, this is how I want to build my life now. This is not hard. This is not what I thought, because you release the resistance, you release the frustration, you release all of that, and then you start to bring in these kind of healthy habits, these things that make you feel good. They make you feel good. Then you're going to want to do more, right? So that's how important just changing and shifting little things is for you. Think about what motivates you, what excites you, what are you passionate about? Have you forgotten all of that? Really, I see some people walk around and they look like they're just so dead, or they're so angry and frustrated, and they just don't seem to have any life left in them. I feel sorry for them, but you know what? It's your fault. You need to get that life, that motivation. If you go to make a change in life and you're not excited about making the change, then what's going to motivate you, inspire you? What's going to keep you on track if there's no motivation, excitement, passion behind it? Kind of like that bride who wants to lose the weight for her wedding and look great. A lot of motivation, a lot of passion, a lot of drive behind that. So that's when you have success, is when you have that. You need to find your why. For me, it's because I have huge plans for my future, where I want to be, what I want it to look like, where I want to travel, where I want to live. I'm excited about my future. So of course, I need to be healthy for it. I need to look good for it. I want to look good for it. I have a lot to look forward to. So have you lost some of this passion for life? Have you lost some motivation, inspiration? Do you feel like, wow, what's left for me? If this is my life, it sucks and I'm not happy with it. So think about that, because if you have no passion, drive, and excitement behind you, it's really hard to make a change. It's really hard to stick to having a healthy lifestyle. So, what is your why for wanting to be healthy and happy? What is your why? And I'm just going to look what else I have before I get there. And I know not everybody is, sorry, I'm looking at the time and I don't have my glasses on. This little bit of a spiritual connection, now whether you are religious or spiritual or don't believe in it, whatever, having something is very important. I have my little rituals, I call them spiritual practices, rituals that I do every day now, and they make a huge impact on my life. They really do make me feel more focused, more grounded, more connected to myself, more connected to the universe, more positive, more motivated, more inspired. So I want you to think about that. If you have something in your life that helps you to feel any of those things, and if you don't, isn't it time to start? Isn't it time to put something into your life to build that little connection, faith, spirit, whatever you want it to be, whatever feels right for you? Walking in nature, being in nature, spending time with friends, family, whatever it is that really brings you joy and really brings you happiness, which uplifts you, make sure that you make time for that every day, even if it has to start with little amounts of time every day. Make time for that. That is so important. Okay, so, oh yeah, what I wanted to say too is, yes, I am going to start to work with women a little differently than I used to. It's not just about the food, but of course I deal with the food too. But I'm really going into mindset, and because I've worked on it for a lot of years, and I of course always helped women with it too. But now I'm going to be a lot more directed towards that, because I truly see that it is the everything behind being successful in whatever you choose to do in life. So I'm giving away, like anybody who's on this webinar who watches this video and they want a 45 minutes session with me where we can discuss, we can kind of go through what's going on in your life in any aspect and kind of see what little shifts, what little changes, what things you can start to do right now that can begin to make a huge difference in you feeling better, happier, and healthier. It can be the food, it can be just the attitude, it can be removing some blocks, it can be what is standing in your way. Sometimes we can't see something that's really obvious, but other people can see it because we're just too close to the situation. I have coaches, I have people that help me with my blocks and help me with my attitude and moving forward in life, because I'm too close to my stuff. I have a lot of resistance, like I said, it's just in a different area. So I'm doing these 45-minute sessions. So if you want one with me, you just have to email me, Diana@rawfoodsmadesimple.com. I will send you an email about this. And or there's a shift session on my website, rawfoodsmadesimple.com, that you can sign up for. It's the same thing. And we can have a session and we can get going, because I'm just really excited to start working with women in a deeper, in a bigger way that's going to make huge shifts and changes in your life and really get you to make these changes, stick with the changes, and to move forward in life in a way that is the best for you, because it's really about everybody as an individual. Something different works for everybody. So that's why working more individually is the best way to work. It's for the biggest changes, right? Okay, so that is my webinar today. If anybody has any questions, sorry I didn't ask for any earlier, but if you have any questions, please type them in now and I will answer them. Or else you can also email me at Diana@rawfoodsmadesimple.com and I will answer your emails that way. But if you have any questions, I will be sending out the recording of this and I'll make it available for something like 72 hours or something. I'll make it public for that long, and then I'll probably take it down just so that it's not on YouTube and everybody's emailing me forever. And I'll be doing more webinars too. So yeah, any comments, suggestions, maybe you want me to cover something different, totally different in my next webinar. I'm open for suggestions. What do you need help with? What are you searching for? What can I help you with? Let me know. I'm glad to help. Thank you. I don't see any questions coming in, so that is great. I just want to make sure. Chat poll. Okay, great. Good. Thanks, you guys, for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for those who are watching the recording. Please send me your comments, questions. Remember, it's Diana@rawfoodsmadesimple.com, my Facebook page, where I do post a lot of stuff on Raw Foods Made Simple, but I will be changing to DianaMarchand.com and Diana Marchand soon, because I'm not just about raw foods anymore. I'm more about helping you live a healthy and happy life. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. Take care.